Jim Barcelona again, MiamiHerald.com. Just curious for you guys, what is it like being here? It's not Cleveland, it's South Florida. So what has that change been like for you all? And do you get a little break time to check out South Florida?
It's warm. It's warm. I'm training in Michigan. It's real cold out there, so it's nice to be out here in a warm environment. So I enjoy going outside, taking a little walk. So that's the plus side for me.
Yeah, it's a lot warmer than Iowa, so it's just really warm here, getting some sun. We're blessed.
This is like my second home. I just was living down here for 3 years, training at Kill Cliff, right? So getting back here, I feel like it's my home away from home, and I might have a couple more fans than I did in Chicago in the crowd. So it's a good thing.
You know, it sounds nice when you say it, Jordan, but how did we get here in the first place? You went and took the young man's title away, and all of a sudden you now are supposed to defend it again, which feels to me rather quickly. Did you want Real this fast? Did you think that Real should have to have a contenders match before we got here? What got us to a title rematch so fast?
For sure. I think Real is, like I said before, he's a great ambassador for the weight class. He's a great competitor, and me going and taking his belt, I don't think anybody expected me to beat him. Even at the last press conference, right, everybody picked Real. But just knowing my style, knowing my skill set, I knew the belt was coming home with me, and I knew as soon as I had the belt, you know, the day later, maybe 2 days later, I got the call for the rematch, and I accepted it right away, right? So you can say 1 time's a fluke, 2 times permanent, right? After the second time, I'll tell him to get in the back of the line, work his way back up.
And Real, what about that final point in that first match? Was that a step out? Was there controversy?
Yeah, it was a step out. It was called.
But called correctly. You do not contest. No. You agree with the referee?
No, I agree.
So what's different this time?
It's a new day. It's a new day. I lost a little bit of focus in those last 5 seconds of the match. We were in a little bit of a flurry. I was in on a shot. I could have been smarter with my finish. I could have navigated the position more, navigated the position better, considering the time on the clock. But it's a new day. And I'm going out there on Saturday, tomorrow night, with a chip on my shoulder. I've had this chip on my shoulder since I stepped off that mat. And you're going to see the best version of me you've seen yet.
And did Real American Freestyle come to you with the suggestion of a rematch, or did you go to them and did you demand a rematch?
It was pretty mutual, but I was ready for the rematch immediately. But I came to them. I mean, right when I walked off the mat, I wanted a rematch. So obviously it was mutual. They were down to make it happen. I don't recall exactly who communicated what, but I think I reached out. I wouldn't doubt it.
Austin back here. It's good that you don't have to freeze your tuchus off in Iowa anymore, so that's good. But on top of that, being able to come down, not freeze, and compete against Nathan, what does this all mean to you?
I mean, I'm super blessed. I'm trying to get as much competition as I can. Tomasello is somebody I looked up to since I was in high school. I tell the story a couple times to a couple of our guys, and I was in Gold's Gym watching him on the TV saying, hey, I want to wrestle this guy one day. And I'm getting to. I've wrestled him before, but I know this is a more complete version of him, and I'm just excited to showcase my skills and make more wrestling fans. I'm a fanatic. I love wrestling. I'm a fan first, and just make more wrestling fans.
Nathan, I wanted to get your response to what he just said, to have Austin and others look up to you as a potential guy that would like to compete against you someday, to have sort of this next generation of wrestlers want to go up there and have, I guess, the honor to face you. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, I remember being a young buck, just like, I'm still young, but like, you know, 18-year-old kid going to Ohio State, looking up to a lot of the national champs, Big Ten champs in that program, and getting whipped, right? And, you know, now I'm the 31-year-old guy trying to continue to compete at a very high level and grow my legacy. And it's fun. You know, Austin's a hard competitor. He wrestles very hard. He's got a good gas tank. And I think we have similar styles, so I think people would love to watch the matchup. And, you know, I'm healthy and excited for the opportunity.
Open-ended question for the guys on stage. Obviously, there's the NCAAs, the Pan Americans, the Olympics, but where do you see the accolade of the RAF gold belt stacking up amongst accolades for future generations of wrestlers?
I think it's bigger, right? I'd lie and say it's bigger just because I got a belt, an RAF belt, right? And I don't have a world championship belt or an Olympic belt. That's something I always wanted, but this league, I think what they're doing for the sport of wrestling isn't confining, that's my baby, isn't confining athletes, right? This is why I like RAF so much because, you know, coming up through wrestling, having swag, you know, myself in general, being tatted and the way I carried myself, sometimes in wrestling you're put in a box, right? You're supposed to walk and talk and act like this. And if you don't, you're kind of looked at differently, right? Where RAF is allowing you to kind of bring your personality, bring your swag, be yourself, and put on matches that you technically wouldn't see, right? Me and Real never got to share the mat. RAF makes that happen, right? Later down the road, I'm looking to share the mat with maybe a David Carr, right? RAF can make that happen. So they're presenting opportunities that wrestling's never seen before. They're bringing more eyes, and they're letting you be yourself while you're doing something you love.
Hi, this is Coach D from Deepwater Podcast. I have a question for Real Woods. The question always being, the man who has the belt is the best. Did the best man beat you the last time you fought?
Yes. He beat me that day. He was the best that day. But like I said, it's a new day. And I'm the best today. If we wanted to go scrap right now, I'm the best tomorrow. And I've prepared myself that way.
Question over here for the entire panel. If you could face an MMA legend, who would it be?
For me personally, my dream matchup would be a guy who is very dominant in the MMA world, who kind of, in my perspective, picks on these MMA dudes in wrestling who I personally don't think would be able to last on a real wrestling mat. So a guy like Merab. Merab dominates everyone in wrestling. He just lost his last fight because that was something outside of his wrestling, right? But I think I want to put him where he is best, and in his best arena, his best style, wrestling, on the wrestling mat, and see what he's really got, show the world what he's really got, and ultimately how good us wrestlers who do it for a living are.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of Demetrius Johnson, so I would love to wrestle him. I know he's retired MMA and he's been doing jiu-jitsu, so why not transition into wrestling and try something else? But also, I would love to wrestle Merab. He has a gas tank, and I think my gas tank's a little bit bigger, and I can get him tired, and you guys can see that.
Yeah, same thing with Demetrius. You know, I've had a couple people give me the nickname Mighty Mouse, so I kind of figured it'd be cool to wrestle him. So.
Oh, it's an easy call. Either Khabib, right? He's so dominant in his grappling. He's dominated all of the fighters, and he has Russian blood, so the guy knows how to wrestle, right? Or Topuria, right? He was a wrestler. He wrestled in Georgia, right? So he's pretty good at grappling. You know, I felt him when I was training at Kill Cliff. He actually came in for one of his camps, right? And I've taken him down a couple of times and couldn't hold him down, right? So he's a really good grappler. Heck of a striker too, right? But we're not going to talk about that. But those kind of two, if I were to wrestle somebody in the MMA world, it's going to be somebody that has a wrestling background and can actually scrap and wrestle.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We're going to move to the next group.
If we could get Lance, Arman, Kyle, and Kadik, please. Thank you.
You know, Arman is, top fighter in the UFC, and, he's inching his way for the belt, so I figured I'd shoot him the first question. You know, when you got the call for Real American Freestyle, what were you thinking, and how excited are you to be here?
I'm super excited to be here. Wrestling is my favorite sport, and I have a lot of friends in Russia we train together always, but I've never competed freestyle wrestling. Yeah, I competed when I was young, like 6, 7 years old, but it's good experience for me, and I'm super excited and can't wait to show everybody my freestyle wrestling, because everybody knows how I do MMA, do grappling, but nobody knows how's my freestyle wrestling, and I want to show everybody tomorrow that I can do 10-0 everybody here.
All right, first question. Arman, obviously talking about the belt, Dana recently came out and said you headbutting Dan Hooker kind of made it so you didn't get a title shot. Do you think that's fair?
I think so, yeah. So hopefully, today is not going to be face-to-face, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be face-to-face? Yeah. So...
No headbutts today, Arman.
No headbutts today.
No headbutts.
So I learned the lesson, so... Yeah, it could be because of headbutt and pull out from the title fight. And yeah, so it is what it is.
Next question for Magomed Khabib Khadimagomedov. 5 years ago, all world saw great performance, your and Kyle Dake on Olympic Games in Tokyo. And 2 months ago, your friend Islam Makhachev took the champion's belt from New York after the great win, Jack Magdalena. And do you want and will you expect the same tomorrow after the match against very difficult and great opponent like Kyle Dake? Thank you so much.
На русском скажи ему.
I didn't think about this. 4 or 5 years ago, I beat Kyle. And now I think Kyle changed skills. Now I think he's ready now. Tomorrow, I don't talk more. Tomorrow I will show, inshallah. I think I beat him again.
Kyle back here. What does this rematch mean to you, being able to run this one back? This time you have a nice shiny gold belt in front of you, so the stakes are still pretty high.
Yeah, I'm really excited to compete. I mean, I love competing, and RAF has just given an opportunity to do that. And you know, before this, we were competing once every 2 months in some hole in the wall, and now we're on a massive stage, people watching from all over the world, and it's something that's really exciting. And it's different. You know, this isn't just like what, you know, a little high school mat anymore. And this is something that's really big and really exciting. And I know my kids are looking forward to it in the future. But honestly, I haven't really thought about that match in a long time. It was a part of my path, and I needed to walk it. And I've learned a lot from them. And I'm really excited to go out and wrestle again and showcase what I've learned and how much better I am.
And then this is for you, Lance. Obviously, you have a lot of respect for Arman Tsarukyan. You did an interview with one of my colleagues, and while you were putting him over, you also kind of cautioned him, hey, this isn't MMA, this is wrestling, it's a whole different style. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, you know the media, they like to switch words a lot, but I did give him his flowers and said how good of a competitor he is, how good of a grappler he is, and I know that he has wrestling background. Like he said, he's always around all his friends are high-level wrestlers. So I just love to see him in the wrestling arena, you know what I mean? I think it's awesome. He's doing all these different grappling matches and staying active, and he's a high-level athlete. He's always a guy that I've watched in MMA and a guy that he competes at the highest level. So the biggest thing for me is finding the best competition. And right now, since I'm not fighting, I was like, there's no better option than just to get on a wrestling mat with this guy, and because I know how high level he is. So I'm excited to go out there and wrestle him.
Question for Arman back here. we've seen you do a lot of grappling tournaments. Could this be a continuous thing for you beyond this match with Lance?
Say again the question.
Could you see yourself competing at RFA multiple times besides just this match with Lance?
Yeah, of course. I want to get the belt. Who's the champion? And around 155, 160 pounds. I want to be a champion everywhere. So I became a champion in ACBJJ, and I want to be RAF champion. So I want to be UFC champion. I want to collect all belts and to be the best athlete.
And same for Lance. Do you see yourself doing a career here?
I mean, I'm going to be honest, this is towards the end of my career. I'd like to be done competing by the time I'm 40. These guys love working me like a dog, but I love it. On the other side of RAF with the, talent and everything else. So, your body can only hold up so long. So I'm giving myself till 40. It was originally 35 and then COVID started. So my wife let me have another 5 years of competing. And so I think that's where we're going to call it a day. But yeah, whether it's MMA, wrestling, whatever, grappling, I want to compete until I'm 40 and then watch my kids compete from then on.
I don't think people realize this, but Lance has a career full-time with RAF. So he's training and he's actually working with all the talent, which is kudos to him because it's pretty hard to do when you're focused on your match and also work across all the athletes and everything else he does for RAF.
So I shouldn't beat him tomorrow.
You might get fired.
No, you're the best guy.
I was wondering for Chad and Izzy, curious, like different backgrounds. It's not just the freestyle wrestling. How important was that to do that? Get all these different styles together too.
When we were sitting down, Chad kind of touched base on it earlier, when we were with Hulk, and Hulk was just trying to figure out who real wrestlers were, and just one of the things I told him is, we speak one language internationally, and that's wrestling. A wrestler knows another wrestler, We might have different backgrounds, we might have different styles, but we all are wrestlers, and that was probably the most important thing and one of the coolest things Hulk noticed. There's tall guys, there's skinny guys, there's short guys. There's a couple fat guys, there's just a group of different guys, and it doesn't matter. There's different races. They're from all over the world, but everybody's a wrestler that we have on stage, and that's the common denominator here. At Izzy Style Wrestling, we say wrestling is life, and to every one of these guys, you can hear the passion in their voice. You can hear, no matter if they're the internet guys or no matter if they're former college wrestlers or MMA guys, wrestling is part of their lives, and it made them who they are. So it was very, very important to bring guys from all aspects of the world and of the sport back together to promote the greatest sport in the world, which is wrestling.
Yeah, and I would say to what Izzy just said is we're trying to create matchups with different, that you asked the question, with different styles because it creates the buzz and the conversations that are happening in not just wrestling rooms, but in all types of gyms around the U.S. And even so much where Arman's manager, Sweep, reached out to us at 2 in the morning and said, Arman wants to wrestle. And then we called up Lance. It's we're getting all of the, what he was saying, Arman, he wants to win all these belts. It's everywhere. We're literally, within our social media, anywhere, people are getting hold of us from all countries and saying, we want to compete. When is our shot? So what's happening is working. We just got to keep it going.
And next question for Arman. How do you think, what is more difficult for you? Win Lance Palmer in wrestling and win in grappling Shara Bullet, who you win 10 days ago in a tournament in Yerevan?
Где будет легче?
Или где сложнее?
No, I think tomorrow is going to be harder for me because it's a new sport for me, and Shara Bullet has no wrestling. He just was defending 6 minutes because it was the bad rules for me. It was only submission, and he was hiding 6 minutes, and then he was so happy that it was draw. Yeah, but with Lance, it's a real wrestling match because we're good wrestlers, and we're gonna wrestle, not just hide, because we gotta get points. And he wants to beat me. I want to beat him, and it's not gonna be draw here. That's why we gotta work, and it's gonna be good show.
Thanks so much. We will expect great, bright colors tomorrow. Thanks so much.
My question's for Arman. You obviously, your last fight was against Dan Hooker. There's a little conflict going around with Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett. I was wondering if you were able to, see it or what you thought about it.
I didn't see what they're doing.
Just going back and forth on Twitter.
They're on the same level. They can do that. So trash cans.
My question is for Kyle Dake. Kyle, there's been 5 years, 12 kilograms, and thousands of miles, but we are finally here. And this was the one match that you needed to have for us wrestling fans. We needed to see this, but it was a hard time knowing if we're going to get a guarantee that we were going to see it. We're now 24 hours a day. You, the rematch, please tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, this is it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I've been thinking about the match since they brought it up. I said, hey, do you want to wrestle Cody? And I was like, yeah, let's go right away. And I've thought about it a lot. Competing for the last 4 years, getting ready for the World Championships. So I was like, okay, I might have to wrestle this guy. You don't know in a tournament format, but in a individual matchup making, you're gonna get it. So long as he doesn't get hit by a bus, I'll run him over tomorrow.
And Kadik, does size matter to you? I asked you this prior to your match with Dustin Plott. You said it was no problem, and you showed that it was. But when I look at Kyle Dake, that's a lot of muscle. That's a big guy you're going to be standing across from.
I not understand why Kyle Dake say everyone wait, not you wait. Why 5 years you don't speak about this match, about last match? Answer question.
He's saying if you wanted this match, how come you didn't bring it up?
Well, there was never a format to do it. RAF built that format, so now we can finally have the match. I was at the World Championships, and he was there, and I don't think he medaled since Tokyo. So, I'm just excited to be able to finally get the match back.
See you tomorrow. I know my skills very difficult for you.
Well, on that note, we'll move on to the next group.
Arman, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. So it's going to be face to face. Yes, at the end. There he is.
Switch yours.
Switch it out.
Izzy, hand me Bose. Who's going to sit next to you?
Is he here? Sam.
We'll ask Bo the first question. Bo was originally supposed to wrestle Yoel at our first event. How are you feeling, with the outcome of Pat and Yoel, and then you, taking your interim belt, and you having to come back to challenge him for the belt?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that for me, this is a matchup that it was never, one that was on my mind. It was just, something that we're different generations, and I think that's one of the coolest things about RAF is we're able to put together matchups like this. So, I'm ready to go. I'm prepared, and looking forward to, competing against a guy who's a legend.
Bo, back here. It seems like a lot of the questions some of the athletes were getting were, what advice do you have for Bo Nickal? What advice do you have for Bo Nickal? Has that been a common thing since this matchup was announced from not just competitors, but from other people?
No, not really. I mean, I think that he had a great performance in his last match, and that was exciting to see for me because I want to compete against the best guys in the world. And so, for me, anytime I go into a competition, it's focusing on myself and what I need to do out there, and I'm just grateful to have a guy on the other side that's going to bring it for sure.
And Yoel, what does this matchup mean to you? It's finally here, you versus Bo Nickal. You had a great performance against Pat Downey in your last appearance. What does this matchup mean to you tomorrow night?
Somebody can is translating Spanish because I want to understand everything.
Claudio, come up here, bud. Just sit next to him. Have that mic. Claudio can do it all.
Buenas a todos presentes, muchas gracias por estar acá. Para mí es un grandísimo placer, pues siempre una lucha es un gran reto y creo que esto no va a ser menos, ¿no? que la última vez que pude hacer la pelea acá en RAF.
Very grateful for being here. He has a lot of respect for Bo, but he doesn't expect anything different than the previous time against Bo Nickal.
Luchar para mí siempre es un gran placer. Es lo que he hecho de niño y estar acá compitiendo de nuevo para mí es un gran reto. Bueno, lo estoy tomando con la misma seriedad de siempre y traté de dar lo mejor de mí, así que esperen al sábado.
He said he's been wrestling his whole life since he was a little kid. He's very excited about it, but he has the utmost confidence and he's going to take care of business.
Todos los atletas son diferentes, claramente. Y hay que estudiarlos y ponerle la atención requerida. Y Bo Nickal es un atleta extraordinario.
He's done his homework and he's ready to take out Bo. He's feeling very good about it. He's been wrestling his whole life and he's studied a lot of film and he's ready.
Así que como es un atleta extraordinario, hay que entrenar extraordinariamente.
He said he's been training and he's been focusing and continuing training and looked at film, so he's ready.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Question for Bo over here. As you heard, Pat was saying, to go for the knees, to not kind of go against him at what he's best at. I'm not sure if you can reveal the game plan, but does part of you want to test yourself where he is best at, given his legendary status in both MMA and the wrestling world?
I'm going to compete the same way I always compete, and for me, the opponent doesn't really matter. I'm going to go out there and do my stuff. I think that as you have seen in many matches with me, it doesn't matter if it's dual meet with 100 people there or the national finals, or I'm going to go out there and bring it and let it rip, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I'm confident and ready to go.
And for Dred, what do you think of Bo Nickal's level, and is this someone that you've been watching? Obviously, a big generational gap between you two.
Gracias por recordarme que tengo unos cuantos años. Es un placer tener unos cuantos años en la vida y aún con la edad que tengo, estar compitiendo para mí es una bendición. No veo la edad como un impedimento.
He said he's very aware that he's a little older, but he says with age comes knowledge, and he's excited. He's been wrestling. He's very experienced, and he's looking forward to it.
Así que no veo la edad ni el tiempo que haya de distancia entre nosotros dos, si es más joven, si son más viejos. Para mí eso no es un pretexto.
He said he doesn't worry about his age. He doesn't care about the age gap. He's a wrestler, and to him it's the exact same thing. He's wrestling the same way as before, and he's ready to go.
Todos sabemos que para que un buen vino sea bueno, hay que tenerle tiempo en el baúl.
He says everybody knows as time goes on, you become a better wrestler, you become more experienced. So he looks at his age as more experienced, and he's more ready to go.
Les invito a todos a tomar de este vino mañana.
He says tomorrow night we're going to have a celebration, we're going to have some wine.
Yo no tomo.
He don't drink.
Bo, from all the killers that you've faced, when you look at Yoel Romero, where does he stack up amongst all the wrestling competition you've faced so far?
I mean, he has to be near the top. The guy's a legend. He's competed at a high level in multiple disciplines, and he's a guy that was a world medalist, Olympic medalist, and so he's definitely one of the best guys I've ever faced. And I think a lot of people talk about his age, but I mean, the guy's a freak, so I don't really think you can factor that in. And I'm definitely not factoring it in, definitely not taking him for granted, and looking to just go out there and do my thing. It's just, it's another match for me, but every match I have is a big match. So it's been that way since I was a little kid, and I'll be ready to perform.
And both you guys have your core in wrestling, but you obviously have your mixed martial arts career. He's got a bare knuckle fight coming up. How has your preparation changed for this wrestling match from your MMA training? Know you have Yoel Romero across from you.
Yeah, well, I'm really blessed and fortunate to be able to train at Penn State with the Nickal Wrestling Club. So, for me, that's never left. Since I transitioned over to fighting, I've continued to train with the best guys in the world, and that's just something that I'm always going to do. And when RAF came about, I felt ready to go and ready to compete with some of the best guys because of that. I think that a lot of people transition to MMA and they just completely maybe abandon the wrestling, but that hasn't been the case for me. So, I feel confident.
And Soldier of God, final prediction for you tomorrow evening. How do you have your hand raised?
Boom, 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 Romero. Boom, 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 Romero. That's what I hear tomorrow night.
He plans on winning.
Alec from Home of Fight. My question's for Bo. Bo, you've been a massive favorite a few times in your UFC career, and you've said you don't really mind the pressure, you don't feel any extra pressure from that. Tomorrow you're listed as a minus 550 favorite. Are you surprised by how big that number is?
No, I'm not super surprised. I mean, I think you factor everything in, and it makes sense. But yeah, as far as pressure goes, I've been feeling like I'm the favorite and I should win every match that I go into since I started. I never go into a match feeling like I'm not going to win. I think anybody that's a competitor feels that same way. And so, for me, I look at myself as the favorite, and anytime I go into a competition, and that's nothing new.
Question over here, Yoel. Are you surprised at all? I guess opposite way that Bo is such a heavy favorite compared to you.
Realmente pienso que Bo es un extraordinario luchador.
No matter who he's wrestling, he plans on winning regardless.
Para mí la lucha, aunque me vean aquí de esta forma así bien alegre, para mí la lucha es lo más serio que hay.
He says, regardless of how you see him now, how he's sitting here, wrestling is the most serious thing that he does right now.
Simplemente que estoy feliz.
It makes him happy, and that's why he wrestles. He continues to wrestle because it makes him happy.
Si me ven así es porque estoy feliz.
And that's why he smiles, because he enjoys what he's doing, and he's a wrestler and he's ready.
Estoy haciendo lo que he hecho toda mi vida.
And he's been wrestling his whole life.
Por eso que estoy muy feliz. Le doy muchas gracias a mi amigo, al jefe del CEO. Estoy muy feliz de acá de estar pudiendo estar compitiendo en lo que he sido siempre reconocido a través del mundo.
And that since he's been doing this since his whole life, he's very grateful. He's very grateful for Izzy Martinez and Chad and everybody on RAF staff, and grateful for the opportunity. But he's happy to wrestle. So when you look at him, he may seem happy. He is happy because he loves what he's doing and he's ready to wrestle.
Todavía a esta edad poder estar compitiendo junto con atletas extraordinarios, actuales campeones mundiales, actuales subcampeones olímpicos, para mí es un gran honor.
He's very privileged and blessed to be on such a card with so many NCAA champions and world champions and people that have wrestled at the world level. So he looks at that as a blessing, and he's very grateful for the opportunity.
Siendo honesto con ustedes y conmigo mismo, para mí ya es un triunfo estar acá.
He's ready. He's grateful to be here right now. And once again, he's ready to wrestle. He's happy to be here. And that's the reason he shows so much happiness when he talks.
Encomiendo en las manos de Dios toda la organización.
And with everybody, with God, he's blessed to be here with everybody. He's grateful to Jesus and God.
De todos los luchadores de mañana, encomiendo que todos sus cuerpos salgan mañana ilesos.
He hopes everybody wrestles to the top of their ability tomorrow. So it's not just about one person, it's about everybody leaving it on the line, all wrestlers wrestling to the best of their ability to put on a good show.
Que mi oponente salga ileso y que dé lo mejor de sí.
And he hopes Bo's ready and brings his best tomorrow.
También deseo lo mismo para mí.
And everybody else and himself included.
Y que toda la familia de la lucha salga mañana contento de la cartelera que se va a dar mañana.
And more importantly, he wants to make sure that everybody that comes tomorrow, all the fans and everybody that's viewing, that they leave knowing that they had a great opportunity to watch the matches and that they saw phenomenal wrestling from everybody included.
Que todos cuando salgamos mañana de la arena diga, wow, it's an amazing show.
All right, let's bring the main event out.
We got one last question.
What is it like, American Top Team? You see the representation, it's in South Florida, and just having American Top Team be a part of all this, was that part of the plan coming into this?
No, I am American Top Team.
Me too.
No, you know.
What?
Me.
I have a gym in Pennsylvania. American Top Team gym. 100% American Top Team.
Pero yo estuve primero.
You were
He says
before
he gets
me.
priority because he's doing it before you.
Hey, come on.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to the next group. Thanks, Bo. Thanks, Yoel.
Thank you, everyone.
Colby, Luke, thank you.
Bag of cash. Oh, man. Ready to go always.
That's going home with me.
I like that. He's coming home with me.
I'll ask Colby the first question. More so, we're talking a little about Hulk Hogan, but some backstory. Well, Izzy actually knows Colby from college, and
Colby, you're looking a little small, so I just wanted to get you some protein so you can beef up a little bit, keep up. You know, hey.
Is this what the Dagestanians gave you in the hot tub in San Jose? Is that what they gave you? Let me see what this is. Protein, okay. Is this your sponsor, Luke?
It's my protein candy.
Okay, nice, bro.
I got some.
Well, Colby, real quick, Hulk Hogan walked you out a year ago. How does it feel to be here in the RAF? You know, I got the call from Noah Schwartz a year ago saying, can Hulk walk you out in Tampa? And he did, and now you're here. So tell us what that meant to you.
Yeah, man, that meant everything, man. That was one of the greatest moments in my UFC career. Just having Hulk Hogan backstage, you know, praying for me before the fight and just giving me so many positive words of encouragement. You know, that's a day that will live in my head for the rest of my life. So super grateful to Hulk Hogan. You know, he's the first person that really inspired me to be a great wrestler. You know, Hulkamania was, you know, the greatest movement of all time in any sport. So, you know, it inspired me in my wrestling career and my UFC career, and, you know, he's meant so much to me in my journey to being a martial artist.
Colby, back here, all the way back. Welcome back, man. It's good to see you getting ready for a combat event again. When you found out Luke Rockhold was going to be your opponent, what was your reaction to that? Because that wasn't on my bingo card, and I don't know if that was ever on yours.
I was excited, you know, he's a big name. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a former UFC champion. You know, he used to wrestle with Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier, Khabib Nurmagomedov. So he's a great, talented guy. He's a strong guy. He's a bigger guy. You know, he may be bigger. Yeah, he may be stronger, maybe, you know, but he definitely turned, you know, some pop stars in Hollywood into some lesbians.
Power top. What can I say? Not the central bottom type, Kobe. You're going to find out.
I'm not really sure, Luke, how I'm even possibly going to be able to follow that up, but I'll try. I will do my best. What was your reaction when you found out that Colby Covington was going to be your opponent for this event?
I was, you know, this thing popped off on me from the blue, and I was like, it sounds fun, but I want to get the right opponent. I'm not, you know, be realistic. You know, I've been out of the wrestling game for a long time. I played it, so Kobe, a little bit of size advantage. I can, and then stylistically, it's all about styles. Styles makes. I was always a funky wrestler growing up, and I think Kobe's someone I can get behind and get my boots in and sink it deep.
Jesus. Chad and Izzy, is this the weirdest press conference you've been a part of?
You know, we knew that putting this card together, there was a lot of characters, and we're just excited, you know, just excited for the fans to laugh, excited for people to be excited for competition, and I'll say it over and over. We're showcasing the greatest sport in the world, and I'm very honored to have, like Chad said, you know, I grew up wrestling with Colby. We've been friends since we were young, you know, and then I've known Luke for a long time with the rivalry with John Jones and Daniel Cormier, and we've always been buddies. So to put this match together is we knew it was going to get a little wild, and especially with my man Luke and how good looking he thinks he is.
And I also had both of them. You know, we called up Luke and Colby, and both of them didn't even flinch when we asked them to go up against each other. So you know, they're ultimate competitors, and we're grateful for them to be on the stage.
You know what? I'm out here. I'm just trying to catch up to Uncle Chael. I feel like every event I do, he's on the board. I got to keep catching up. His glasses might be a little thicker than mine, but I'm coming for you, Chael.
We might put that match together next.
Chael's been asking. He's been wanting to get on the mats, you know, so we'll see.
Colby, what are the chances you give Luke to sink it deep and be able to score some points against you here on the wrestling mats?
You know, I see Chael Sonnen, I see Kurt Angle, but if it wasn't for me and Luke being here, you know, there wouldn't be any stars in the building unless, you know, these guys got hit upside the head.
And Luke, question for you. For all the guys that you've wrestled, where do you put Colby's skill set on the wrestling mats compared to the guys you've gone up against, just from what you've seen on film?
I mean, I've been fighting wrestlers, so Colby, straight up wrestling, he's a tough guy. You know, I mean, I don't think he's particularly fast as a lot of the guys I've been to, and he's just tough, and he's going to be a hard nose, a lot of hand fight, and a lot of grind, and I think it's a good matchup for me. I can get off and get some throws and get to where I want to be in position. I think freestyle's a lot nastier than collegiate style, and I think a lot of the reasons why I didn't wrestle in college is because a lot of the matches I missed were like potentially dangerous calls, and a lot of, I was a funky wrestler, so I just ended up hanging it up just because I didn't get rewarded right. And I think freestyle suits me a lot better. I can get on the neck real tight, and I can rip them apart.
All right, this question's for both of you guys. You guys both obviously fought in the UFC. If you guys could rematch someone you guys fought in the UFC in an RAF event, who would you guys want to face?
I'm just here to save wrestling, you know, like you got some boring entitled bozos in this building that think they should be in the headliner. My name's in history in Madison Square Garden for being the biggest draw there, you know. I'm not out here giving the Sandusky special. Didn't you get beat up by a Dutch kickboxer? I forgot. Remember your cardio, you wore out, you got beat up by a Dutch kickboxer, that's right. Come on, Bo. Come on, bro. Have you ever been a main event? No, you never been a main event. Come on, bro. Hey, how many times did you shower in Happy Valley at the Penn State with Jerry Sandusky? I gotta know. I really gotta know. It's entitled bozos like this that just kill the sport of wrestling. We need stars. We need people that are willing to be vocal and call their shots.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be too easy, bro. You're a bum. Come on, dude. You're a Dutch kick. You got broken by a Dutch kickboxer, man. Come on, dude. No, come on. You're a bum, dude. You're nobody.
What are we
You've never
talking?
been to main event. There's a reason. Come on.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about big money up here, not nobodies. We're talking about Luke Rockhold, first ballot Hall of Famer, not some unproven kid in the corner that's never done anything.
You should make the top 10 before you start talking about a sport that built another sport. Exactly. The reason why wrestling here is on the stage is because of MMA.
Facts.
And you've done absolutely nothing in the sport of MMA. You quit. Absolutely. You quit before the knee even hit you, Bo. So just
Facts.
Button it up. Button it up.
Look how bad he's getting. He's crying over in the corner.
I've won. Guys, how many world championships have I won? What have you done on a world stage? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
You're a college bum.
Entitled
Shut up.
Guys, move on.
Entitled little bum.
All right, who's got the next question
you
for
modify
us?
the rule set, and I will choke you out. Hey,
go ahead.
No leg locks, chokes. We can modify it. I would love to do a modified rule set.
Bo Nickal
modified rule set. I will put you to sleep.
All right, who's got the next question?
as much as I love to see Colby and Bo keep
let's move it
arguing,
on.
obviously you guys are both Trump supporters. So I just wanted to ask, like, how much does it mean to you guys to compete just 30 minutes away from where Jeffrey Epstein used to hang out?
Who the fuck is talking right now?
Luke, you're dressed like a lesbian.
Move on,
Let's
move on,
relax.
move on.
Question for.
All right, who's got the real question for these guys?
Colby, we've seen online that Kamaru Usman and Bilal Muhammad have called you out specifically for this format. Any of those guys interest you for a wrestling match?
Yeah, definitely. Marty Fake Newsman's someone that I'm going to want to fight till the day I'm dead. So, I'd love to wrestle Marty. Bilal, would be a fun one. I'm number 2 all time on the takedown list at welterweight in the UFC right now. There's only one person above me. That's GSP. So I think that fight makes a lot of sense. Maybe Khabib has had some talks he might want to go over. So there's a lot of good matchups that RAF can provide. I'm just super excited to get on the mat tomorrow night.
If you could compete against anybody, would GSP be your preference, like number 1?
Without a doubt. You look at the history list in the UFC takedowns, I'm number 2, he's number 1. So, he's the only person above me. That's who I want.
Thank you.
Luke Rockhold, what has your camp been like for this match, preparing for this match?
Shaking off the cobwebs, trying to get a little good feel, getting with all these young kids. I came out to Kill Cliff about 2 weeks ago and test myself against some of the best guys out there, and just getting the flow back. So I'm in a good spot. I've danced around to a lot of different striking competitions, but wrestling was my base. I wrestled from 6th grade through high school. So, and then I continue to wrestle like some of the best guys in the world, in Cormier, Khabib, Islam, Kane, and also all these people for so many years. So my skills are there. If I get to my positions, it's going to be a short night.
Nice. And Colby, what did your preparation look like for this match?
My preparation was a lot of bedroom cardio with the South Beach Mamacitas. Going to Mar-a-Lago to have a lot of dinners. I got to wrap this up soon because I got to go have dinner with the president here shortly at Mar-a-Lago. And, just thinking about the future and building up RAF into a global organization to compete with all the mainstream sports.
Colby, Alec from Home of Fight here. You're a UFC welterweight. Luke has had fights at light heavyweight in the UFC. How much of a factor do you think the size difference will play in this matchup?
It definitely plays a little bit of a factor. He's a bigger guy, he's stronger, but I'm nastier. And tomorrow night I'm going to show how nasty I am. I'm going to show why they call me the King of Miami. I'm going to show why I'm America's champ and the reflection of perfection, baby.
And one last one from me. Dagestani wrestling versus American wrestling. Who's the best in the world?
That's a great conversation. Everybody always wants to know. I think, the Russians have really held a strangle grip on being the best wrestling country in the world for so long, but Americans are closing the gap. We're getting better technology, better training, and, I think the Americans are the best today.
Great. Let's get these face-offs started, guys. Thank you.